Hi guys, this is Jen, and this is your calendar module for week 2 of the Google Level Educator 1 class. I am going to do my best to try and get this in one recording, but there's a good chance I might have to break it up depending on the background noise in my house. So, calendar, your objectives for this module. You're going to understand the different locations of calendar. You'll know how to make appointments in 3 different ways. You'll be able to create a calendar and share it with me. You will be able to find and subscribe to other calendars, and that can be a lot of fun. You'll be able to apply Calendar Labs, and you will know how to find the link if you ever wanted to share your link to somebody else or just send it to them. You'll be able to find the link to your calendar. So that's especially useful for those of you that were doing splash pages and just doing a calendar instead. So let's get started. So the assets to Google Calendar, there's a lot. I mean, it's part of your G Suite for Education. Let me just go into this part right here. It's part of your G Suite for Education account. So it integrates with everything that we have going on. It also has Android and iOS apps. I use the iOS app on my phone all the time. I prefer it over the native app on my phone. I do not like iCal at all. This is much better in my personal opinion. It's easy to schedule appointments and events and invite others, and sharing calendars with others, and making use of multiple calendars and searching for past and upcoming events is a breeze. So to access our calendar, you can simply go to the Waffle or, the Apps Grid, or you simply can type in calendar.google.com, or as of last week, you guys have probably bookmarked that. So the Google Calendar layout. Google Calendar has several different areas that are really important that you get to know. You have other calendars, and these calendars are calendars that you're shared to that you do not have sharing access to, which means I might share my calendar to Alex so he can see it. But unless I give him access to also edit events and share, his calendar is like my calendar on his side will always stay down here. But let's say I share my calendar to Scott and I give Scott access to edit events and manage sharing, then it's going to appear under his calendars where it says my calendars. He will see mine listed. Now, one of the things that you see here is that you'll see that I have Kronk's work schedule highlighted, and that's what you're actually looking at right now. Kronk's work schedule is the one calendar that I share across all of the areas that I work. And this is the way I keep myself somewhat sane, is by only using one calendar. I don't use the calendar that's assigned to me in every new place because I just need one place to keep track of everything. So we have other calendars. These are calendars you can subscribe to, and these are calendars you cannot manage sharing for. My calendars are calendars that you can manage sharing for. Here you have your mini calendar, and at any time with any one of these, I can just click on the little caret that's on the left-hand side to collapse it. Now, this is important. These two people often think are the same button, but they're not. The Create button opens the event editor. This little guy right here is Quick Add, and Quick Add is awesome. I use Quick Add all the time. Up here, we have your search bar. The search bar is awesome. The search bar helps me whenever I need to locate any kind of event that's going on. So in a few minutes, I'm going to drag one of my calendars in so you can see. And here we have our view buttons. Now you can customize these. So you can choose to see a day, a week, a month. I have 2 weeks here. Normally you could do it shows you 4 days by default. I like to see the 2-week view and agenda view. Here is where we go when we want to manage the settings for our calendar. So I am going to just escape out of this, and I am going to drag a calendar in so you can see. So here's a live calendar. Bring it into the window. There we go. So in this calendar right now, if I go to my month view, there we go. You can see that these are calendars that I can subscribe to. And take a look at this. I have subscribed to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Phases of the Moon, and also the operations calendar. So if I go here, I can decide to show this calendar. I can assign it a special color. If I want to make it a special color, it'll turn on when I click on it. So you can see the phases of the moon here. If I click it again, it turns itself off. If I want to hide this from the list, all I need to do is just click on hide calendar from list. Now, probably my favorite calendar is this one right here, the Pittsburgh Steelers calendar. So, so far, having a pretty good season and happy about that. So how do we do this? If I go to this little caret right here and browse interesting calendars, you'll see that you have a number of holiday calendars that you can look into. I like to look at the Jewish holidays because I'm not always familiar with all the different holidays that might affect our school year. So that way I subscribe to that one as well as holidays in the United States. Sports, though, is where we get to have some fun. So let's say in baseball, well, the season's almost over, so I'm going to stick to football. I will go to National Football League. And here I can subscribe to my second favorite team, which is the Packers. We took a tremendous loss in Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone. So if I subscribe to the Packers calendar, now when I go back, you'll see that I now have Packers and I also have my Steelers calendar. This is a fun little side note and show you how your other calendars can work. One of your homework assignments is going to be pick a calendar to subscribe to. And you're going to take me on a little video tour of your calendar. So I'm going to turn this off right now and I'm going to turn off the Packers and I wish both those teams good luck. Now, to my calendars, I have a ton of calendars here. And if there's a bunch of calendars, like this one is just a junk calendar, obviously I was testing things out, I can just hide this calendar from the list. But if I know this is a junk calendar and I don't want to deal with it, I can just go ahead and get rid of this calendar completely. So if I don't want this calendar, I can simply go to calendar settings. And in calendar settings, down here, I can go to permanently delete this calendar. It's not an obvious thing, and this is a good thing that might be on the test. So know that we went. If I go back to the calendar, if there's any time you want to delete a calendar, click on this little caret, go to calendar settings, and scroll down to permanently delete this calendar. Yes, I definitely want to delete this calendar, and I'm going to delete this one for everyone. There we go. Now, as always, if there's something here like I don't need to see this one, so I can, oh, that's a Putnam Valley Elementary School. I'll keep that. I will hide my test classroom. So I'm going to go hide this from list. Some of you are going to have a ton of classroom calendars. And if you're not actively looking at them, you can go ahead and hide those. Let's see what other ones might want to hide. No offense, but I'm probably going to hide the birthday calendar from the list. There we go. So I've pared this down. Now I really can't do anything with this one. This is my main calendar right here. It's the one that's assigned to me through this domain. So there's not much I can do there. I could rename it, can never delete it. It won't work that way. Up here in our mini calendar, it does exactly what you think it does. It helps me just be able to jump to dates automatically. That's what I'm doing. One of my favorite functions of Google Calendar, though, is if I want to have a customized view, like let's say I want to look for 3 weeks, I highlight 3 weeks and boom, it'll show me 3 weeks. One of the reasons why I like doing that little highlight here is that sometimes when I'm looking at a full month view, I get these, when I have a particularly packed month like here, I get a lot of these 4 more, 3 more, 7 more. So if I do a 3-week view, I stand a better chance of seeing close to everything, except for not this day. Now it brings us back up to these two little buttons that I talked about in the setting. You have your create button, which opens the event editor, and you have your quick add button. So if I click create, it opens up the event editor. And this is pretty self-explanatory. So let's say I want to have lunch with my level 1 class. I can click the title. I can enter a location. The great thing about the location is if I wanted to actually put an address in here, I can start typing. That's my address right there. The reason why this is useful is because it will automatically make GPS detect on your phone if you're using Google Calendar app. So whenever anybody puts an address in there for me, I just click on it and automatically goes there. Now here, this is where I get to choose the calendar I want to apply that to. So I already showed you that I only work out of Kronk's work schedule just to keep my life consistent. So that's the one I'd apply to. I can put in any description that I'd like to put in here, and I can also add attachment. So let's say I wanted to add, this is a good one, directions for submitting PDFs for your student if they're using Classroom. So I can add that attachment, and I can choose an event color if I want to. And by default, this shows me as busy. You're not going to probably ever find a use for changing that to available, but that's actually something that I do quite a bit. Now, I get to add guests. So here, you'll see I'm starting to type just the name of our calendar for our class, and it's right there. I can go ahead and put that in there, and it's automatically going to go to all of your calendars. But I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to harass everybody with this appointment. I think I am going to harass Georgia, though. I don't think Georgia will mind. So I'm going to invite Georgia to lunch. And I'm not sure if her calendar is public, but if it is, it's not available to me, so I can't see her calendar here. If there's a calendar I can see, I will see when I go to find a time, my calendar and the person's calendar next to me. So that's a great way when you're using Find a Time to make a meeting. Just click on this and you're going to see like my calendar, Scott's calendar, George's calendar, Denise's calendar, Carrie's calendar. I love the Find a Time option. It's fantastic. Now I can make it so guests can modify an event if they want to. They can invite others. They can see the guest list. You can decide how many of these things you want to have checked off. And you can also create a repetitive event. And I'm pretty sure you guys would probably be able to figure out how these work. It's great. I do a lot of repetitive events. So I'm going to discard this event and go back to here. So that was the event editor, and that's in the big create button. The next little one is called Quick Add. Quick Add is awesome. It detects natural language, and I use Quick Add only when I am on my personal account, because Quick Add will only affect this calendar right here. Quick Add will never go to my Kronk's work schedule. So for you guys, Quick Add is awesome. It's going to go directly to the right calendar. For me, it doesn't. But let me show you how Quick Add works. If I click on Quick Add, I can say lunch with Georgia every Wednesday at 12 p.m. This is assuming that Georgia actually takes lunch. And when I press add, it'll say added lunch with Georgia there, but also there. And if we take a look, if I turn off Kronk's work schedule right now, so you can see, it has gone to every Wednesday. That's how easy Quick Add is. It detects your natural language. So I can go back to today. I could even do something like breakfast tomorrow with Scott and Beverly at 8 a.m. Quick Add, There we go. There it is in the right date at 8 a.m. Breakfast with Scott and Beverly. Now, this will not send an event invitation to Scott and Beverly. This directly only goes to my calendar. But I could always click on the event once it's created and I can edit it. And from there, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and add Scott and then I could add Beverly if I want to. So that is your quick add and your event editor. Now, one thing I did not cover in either quick add or the event editor is when I clicked here, do you see this little link here? It says video call. We're going to be using that as part of our class. That is called a Hangout. Now, all of your events, when you go to create one, come with the option of having a placeholder video call. You don't ever have to use it, but just know it's there. So at one point in our class, I'll probably have a hangout at night while I'm at home, and welcome you guys to come join me if you have the time. This is how we're probably going to do one of our reviews. Using Google Hangouts is probably one of the biggest game changers to my practice that I've had. So just know that that link is there. If I want to remove it, I click remove. It's not there. If I want to add it, I can add it. By default, it's always going to show up there. So what we've done so far is we have looked at your other calendars. We looked at calendars that you have access to manage sharing and changing events. And you subscribed or learned to subscribe into an interesting calendar. We've learned about your mini calendar and the create and the quick add button. So I'm going to stop that video there and we'll pick up with the search bar in just a minute.